nerds, my name is Nikki and this is Geeks and Grace Plays Wind Waker HD. Before we get started with anything else, I just want to say to you all, thank you so much for participating in the Twitch drive, donating money, coming to watch us be goofy, praying, whatever the heck you did, we love that you did it. I personally want to thank you because before the drive, Sam was my only competition at GUG for prettiest staff member, and now that he's shaved an eyebrow off, I stand unchallenged as the prettiest staff member at GUG. So honestly, you're making dreams come true here is what I'm saying right now.
And oh look, we got a treasure chest. I wonder what's inside.
So again, we are in the middle of a dungeon. We won't encounter much plot, although I'm guessing that the mini-boss is coming up, so we will encounter a little bit of plot. So, topic of the day.
You got a treasure chart. Open this chart on the map screen and let me treasure.
Topic of the day. Last week was E3. This week, let's talk about things that weren't at E3. Like Earthbound. Earthbound will never again be at E3 because Earthbound is finished. I am a huge fan of Earthbound or Mother 2. I'm super into the lore and so good at video games. You marvel at my splendor. I was a huge fan of the Earthbound or Mother 2 as it's called in Japan. I'm so interested in just the whole lore and the plots of the game and just the quirky sense of humor it has. I love things with a real quirky sense of humor. And of course, you know, I know about the games in Japan too about Mother. That is actually, I lied! Earthbound was at E3! Earthbound Beginnings was announced at E3 and it caught everyone, well, I'm not sure how many people caught by surprise. It caught me by surprise, just because Nintendo seems pretty dead set on no more Earthbound games in the US. And definitely, the Mother 2, or the original Earthbound that was released in the US, was the most tame of the three or so I hear. And, it's just funny because they rated it teen for teen, and if that's all it took, then, you know.
And look at this. This is the entrance to the boss lair.
That thing's going to come in handy later. Over there, we've got the boss chamber. Yada, yada, yada. So interesting. I know. Nintendo. Everyone said that Nintendo had a terrible conference. I don't think that Nintendo had a terrible conference. They didn't have much to show at their conference, but at the same time, they weren't making promises for the future. Like, Reggie Fils-Aimé explained it, I think, in a post-interview or something like that, about how they didn't want to announce anything that wasn't coming out in the next year. They didn't want to tease people to gain brownie points and then to look at me blowing myself up like a pro. Pros blow themselves up. I don't know what your mother has told you, but in Zelda, if you blow yourself up, you're a pro. Reggie Fils-Aimé, he said that Nintendo didn't want to announce anything, I think right up these stairs. I'm getting so off topic every time I try to open my mouth.
Look, it's a dragon!
Oh, that's unfortunate. He seems in pain. They didn't want to announce anything that wasn't going to come out in the next year. They didn't want to give people something to, like, false hope. Okay, we are going into a boss. They didn't want to give people a mini-boss anyway. They didn't want to give people false hope and tease something that was going to come out for a while just for brownie points at a conference, when in the end, ultimately, people would get more upset waiting for the game. Which is really smart of them, I want to say. And not only that, but are we all ignoring that they came out, that they let us have Earthbound Beginnings? No, it's not Mother 3, but it's something at the very least. And honestly, I think it's them showing us, it's either them saying, like, okay, we can't give you Mother 3, but we'll give you Mother 1, or it's them saying we're opening our minds to the prospect of bringing Mother 3 to the US, especially if they're going to slap a T for teen label on something that was clearly meant for a kid. I hope that this means that they're considering letting Mother 3 into the US, because if you see that game, you know it's not. You got scrolls like this, it's a thing. Not gonna talk to you yet, Medleek. Just hold on. If they're putting a T for Teen label on something even as tame as Earthbound Beginnings, I think that means that they're trying to find a way to bring Mother 3 to the US. Just because you look at that game and, geez, it is not a Nintendo game. I mean, it is clearly a Nintendo game, but it's not a game meant for children. It's a terrific game. Link! You came to rescue me! To be continued. Oh, thank you! I have to tell you what I found out. This is terrible. Some creature is doing awful things to the Great Valu's tail. That's why he's so angry. The Great Valu's tail hangs down into the room right below here. There's got to be something in there. I wonder if those mean monsters who captured me have something to do with it. We've got to do something, now, before it's too late. I'll go tell everyone what's happening. Here, Link, use this to get out of here. It's what I used to get this far. It's a device Rito used before we evolved wings. Before we evolved wings?
You got the grappling hook. This was an item used by the Rito people before they had wings. And tutorial. You can even use it to haul things from the seafloor while you're in your boat.
Here, Link, climb up on that little ledge over there so I can show you something.
Okay, but
Okay, show off.
I'm coming, Medley! I'm on the ledge.
Grab this branch. That's not a branch. Ugh. Grab this branch with the grappling hook. Then you can swing over and get out of this area. Tutorial. Remember that. And don't you worry about me, Link. Get going. Rude. Okay, let me equip the grappling hook here. No, actually, I like it in this place. That's not it. No, I had it right. No, I never had it right. Because I don't do anything right. That's right. Okay, I like it to be one of my bumper buttons. Just because, I don't know, it just feels more comfortable and natural to me. Like this way, if I need to hold it down, I can still access the joystick right above those, if you know the layout of the controller, you know what I'm saying. As I was saying, I think they're opening up to the idea and trying to find ways to bring Mother 3 to the US just because so many fans want it and they know it's going to make them at least a little bit of money. I mean, look at the fan translation. If that many people are dedicated to getting a fan translation, then I think that a couple of them will buy this game if it's released for the Virtual Console. Not only that, but, and I'm going over here, we can't actually access this room yet, obviously, because we don't have the big key. I'm coming over here so I can get a ferry, and I keep messing this up. Come on. Oof. Come on. There we go. Hi, friend. Let me up. Thank you. So I'm excited. This is either the end of Earthbound or the very beginning. I will admit, I did recently get a ROM to get the fan translation. In my soul, you got the Knight's Crest. Keep it in your spoils bag. It's as useless as anything else you're gonna get in there. I know it's technically pirating. The only way that I can very thinly justify this is because Nintendo is aware of the translation and they're doing nothing about it. So that tells me that, well, at least it did tell me that they are not interested, even a little bit. And seriously, I have to go up to it? Okay. Come on. There we go. Tells me that they're...
You caught a fairy in a bottle. Look how sad she is. She's tormented. She's gonna suffocate in there. You monster. It told me that they're not even...
There's another fairy. it told me that they were not even a little bit interested in bringing Mother 3 to the US, so that kind of justified it until they came out with Earthbound Beginnings, and it shook my world. It didn't shake my world, but it got me questioning things. It got me questioning the status quo. Okie doke, what are we doing now? I guess we're backtracking? Let's look at the handy dandy map. Oh, I can't get back down there. So not this room. It's usually so simple. I am confuzzled right now. Maybe we're supposed to go out and then down. So Earthbound. Oh gosh, I love that game. I love its quirky sense of humor. I always love the protagonists. I love how involved you get in that game. And not only that, I've said previously that I'm not into JRPGs because I find turn-based battle systems to be extremely tedious. I do not find this turn-based battle system to be tedious at all. Especially since the fact of, like, they don't do this in Earthbound Beginnings, but they do it in the second Earthbound, you know what, I'm just gonna go by the Mother names. They don't do it in Mother 1, but they do it in Mother 2, where, if it's obvious you're gonna kill an enemy, like if you run into an enemy out in the field, and, you are freaking overpowered, oh my gosh! That's never happened! Oh, I might instant replay that when I actually edit this. You know what, I'm gonna instant replay that moment just so that you can all see what I saw and saw how hilarious it is. It's never happened to me in all the times I've played this game. Anyway, what was I saying about Earthbound? Something about how amazing it is. Don't fall in the lava. Don't fall in the lava. Good job. Proud of you. Yeah, in Earthbound 2, the turn-based... You got a joy pendant! Hooray! In Earthbound... Not Earthbound 2, Mother 2, it's really, really cool how, like, if you're too overpowered, like, if you go back to, like, your village or something like that, oh, I love it when you cut the 3 ropes and it makes you go down. I don't know why, I just love this part. When you, like, if after, like, the final level, you go back to a place like level 2 or something like that, and I'm using that generally, like, if after you get the last melody at the last sanctuary, you go back to, like, Tucson or something like that, and you run into an enemy, rather than putting you through the tedium of having to enter into the battle, beat the enemy, gain the useless XP points, so on and so forth, it just basically is just like, you know what, I'm not going to waste your time. It automatically flashes you a win sign, and and just lets you go on your merry way. And not only that, but when you are overpowered with an enemy, and I think the barometer for this is just basically if you can enter into a battle and kill an enemy in one shot, the enemies on the field will run away from you rather than towards you, which is what they do if you're a lower level than them, which is just, to me, such a brilliant idea. They do the same thing in Ni no Kuni, which is why it doesn't annoy me as much. I don't know if they do it in Final Fantasy, I will be honest, I haven't played many Final Fantasy games myself, I don't think that they do. Not only that, but some of the Final Fantasy games are more linear, so you don't do a lot of backtracking, or at least you don't even, in the instance of Final Fantasy 13, which everyone doesn't like, you don't even have the ability to backtrack just because of the way that that game is structured. Which is another thing. When a game is linear, when it doesn't prompt you to explore and doesn't let you to explore. One of the things that I love about Zelda games is the ability to explore and find things in the world. Like, my favorite Zelda game, probably my favorite game ever, is Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, just because it's a compact world. It's a very, very small world. But it gives you incentive to explore it, and it has something crammed into each and every inch. So yes, it's a small world, but it is not in any way a world not worth exploring, especially in Clocktown. There's just so much content in that game. And yes, the actual main campaign, which is all that you need to do to beat the game, is smaller, but gosh. Oh, and here's where we get the boss key. But gosh, all that you do in that game, and not only that, but a lot of it, and I love how they do this, because not only in that's... Can I still? I don't think I can. No, I'm gonna die. And I love the reward system for beating all these side quests, because believe me, there are a lot of side quests in that game. It's part of the charm of it. I love the incentive to beat all those games, and like all those side quests that seem tedious, they don't at all seem tedious. In fact, they seem part of the actual game, because every single time you beat a side quest, you not only get valuable, like, you're not only entertained by the story, but you also get a mask or a significant item to go along with it. And oh, I remember what I have to do in this room. It's super annoying. That's right. Hold on. You have to pick up this guy, place him on the button, hope that he stays there while you grab the key. And do you have to beat him again? I don't think you have to beat him again.
You got the big key. Use it to gain entrance to the room where the dungeon's boss lurks. Yeah. Unnecessary extra screen.
It gives you a significant item after you beat each side quest, along with an entertaining story, which is a little something for everyone. Maybe you're not a gamer for story. Probably you're not a gamer for story. I'm a gamer for story. To most people, story is just a nice compliment, the frosting on the cake, so to speak. Not only do you get that, but you also get something that's useful and helpful along your quest, and it also helps you become ridiculously, like, it's one of the only Zelda games I feel like, it is the only Zelda game that I know of where you can actually be overpowered at some point. Part of the thing that people love about Zelda games is just that, whatchamacallit, there's not a leveling system, so it's not just a matter of like endless grinding, which sometimes is fun, sometimes is not. What? Okay. I can deal. I'm all the way back over here, I can't deal. Yeah, I guess that is actually, it's all in one room, isn't it? So yeah, anyway, it's not just grinding, like, it's actual, there's a lot of strategy involved in this game, both in solving the puzzles in the dungeon and also figuring out how to defeat enemies and such. Maybe it's very base and obvious strategy, and I say it's especially so sometimes in this game, just with how much they over-explain everything, but nonetheless, it is strategic based, and you feel like you're gaining more power because you personally are gaining more power, not your character. You are not giving your power to your character. It is you solving these puzzles. It is you figuring out. It's you that has the arsenal, and it's you who's putting these tools to good use, which is part of the reason why I love these games. In Majora's Mask, at the very end, spoiler, but in Majora's Mask at the very end, if you complete not all the side quests, because technically heart containers are also contained as a side quest, and you don't have to collect all of those to make this happen. But if you complete all of the mask-involved side quests, and if you have all the masks by the end of the game, there's a section that you can go. There's a section that you do go to right before the boss, where, like, I don't even know how much to explain it. Basically, what you do is you trade in those masks for the opportunity to do a couple of challenges, and I'm going to do those guys first. You trade in those masks for an opportunity to do 4 challenges involving each of the main canon, not 4, 3 side quests involving each of the main canon masks, the Zora mask, the Goron mask, and the Deku Link mask. And if you complete all those challenges, you receive what's called the Fierce Deity mask, where literally it is so easy to beat the final boss with that mask. Literally, you just swing your sword a couple of times and that's it. The boss is done. There's no strategy involved. It's just hack and slash and it's over before you even know it. That is the only time in any of the Zelda games that I felt overpowered. And what's awesome about that is that I felt overpowered, but I still felt accomplished. Like, it still felt like I earned that. Because the challenge wasn't in the final boss, the challenge was in completing those 4 challenges before. And those 4 challenges, believe me, are actually harder than the final boss. So, it makes you even, it's almost like, I wouldn't say it's like a harder mode for the boss, but I will say that it makes you feel more accomplished than if you were to go the traditional route, which is doing the main canon and defeating that final boss, which without the Fierce Deity Mask, he is pretty tough. Because not only do you do those 4 challenges, which altogether combined I think are more difficult than the boss, I swear, I spent so much time on those challenges. You also have the added effect of having completed the entire game and seeing all that Termina gave you to see, and completing all those challenges as well. And again, believe me, those challenges, some of them are not easy. I mean, actually they really range in difficulty. You've got one... Okay, hold up. Let me beat this boss. Ooh, actually, we'll watch this cutscene, but let me beat the boss in another episode, just because no, you know what? We're beating the boss in this episode. No, I've decided. We're beating the boss in the next episode. So, just because I'm afraid I'm going to run out of room with my camera in the middle of the boss battle. We're going to beat the boss in the next episode. We're going to finish off this island. Until then, I will see you on Thursday. Till next time, nerds.